All right, so our quadratic, or sometimes known as a parabola, all right, is in the shape of a U. The lowest point or the highest point is called the vertex. Then there's this thing called the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. Now, why do you suppose that's called an axis of symmetry? Exactly, right? This distance from here to here is exactly the same as the distance from here to here. All right. So if you're on the right side of the parabola, the distance from the axis symmetry will give you the other point on the other side of the axis. Now, what I would like everyone to write down is the axis of symmetry. At the top, you might want to say this: axis of symmetry. All right. So your axis of symmetry is defined as x. It's a formula, equals negative b over 2a. Your vertex is defined as a point. It's the x coordinate, or it's the axis of symmetry point, comma. Now I need to find the y value that corresponds to that x. So I plug it in. So this would be f of negative b over 2a. Close parentheses, and then close a bigger parentheses. So the vertex is the point that's on the graph. Now, some of you are like, I don't understand what you're saying. That's okay. You will in a minute. And then the other important point is the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is always 0, c. Now, where are all these letters coming from? They're coming from this form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the general form. We say this is the general form of the quadratic formula. And I am proud of you. It's also in some books called standard form. All right, general form or standard form. Tomorrow we will learn about the vertex form. All right, we'll learn about the vertex form. But today I just have to show you about the general form of the quadratic formula. All right. Now, again, please, this is the important information. All right. I promise you it's super easy, especially because if you forget everything, you can use your what? You can use your calculator. It's not as easy trying to figure things out with your calculator as it is understanding. All right. But again, there's not really that much here. All right. It's just, 4 or 5 steps. All right. So please, let's go ahead and knock out the first one. All right. So here we go. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to erase this now. All right. And then we're going to go with the format. Step number 1. All right. Step number 1. We normally say, how do you determine if the parabola opens up or if it opens down? All right. We know it opens up because a is greater than 0. All right. First step is to say it opens up or down. All right. The next step is to find the axis of symmetry, AOS. So x equals negative b over 2a. All right. Now, right above this, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Can anybody tell me what the b value is here? B is the number in front of the x. B is the number in front of the X. Someone else who's thinking. Is there an X value? There's no X, correct? And because there is no X, then X is what? Or the B value is what? Very good. 0. -0 over 2 times A is the number in front of the X squared term. What's the number in front of the X squared term? What number's in front of the X squared term? 1. What's 0 divided by 2? 0. There you have it. So the axis of symmetry is just X equals 0. So now everybody go to their graph. Now you're going to have to graph X equals 0. However, X equals 0 is the vertical line, this line right here. So does everybody agree it's kind of hard to see, right? If you're going to draw right on the axis. So what you do is when it's on the axis, here's what I want you to do. You're going to make the axis a slant. There's your axis symmetry. Make a dotted line. Your axis symmetry is always going to be a dotted line. Everybody good with that? All right, does everybody see my axis symmetry, correct? Now I need to find the vertex. To find the vertex. All right, it's 0, comma, f of 0. I want everybody to write that down. 0, comma, f of 0. So how do I find f of 0? I plug 0 into the equation. F of 0 equals 0 squared minus 5. What's 0 squared minus 5? -5. Everybody good on that? So now my vertex is 0, comma, -5. Now I need everybody to take and plot the point 0, -5. All right, so there's a point 0, -5. Everybody's good with that? All right, next step. All right, we are going to find the y-intercept. And I told you the y-intercept was always 0, comma, c. So in this case, the y-intercept is 0, comma, somebody? Thank you very much. 0, comma, -5. It's 0, comma, -5. All right, now I need you to put a little star here. All right. Our y-intercept in this case is also the what? It's also the vertex. All right, so this creates a problem. All right, we don't have another point. All right, so because the vertex is the same as the y-intercept, we have to plot a point. We have to plot a point. All right. So what's the easiest point besides 0 to plug in? 1. So everybody plug in 1 for X. That should be good mental math work. What's 1 squared? -5. -4. So look right here, 1, -4. You understand how I got 1, -4? Now you plot the point 1, -4. And I just plotted 1, -4. Now, using the axis of symmetry, yeah. All I did was I plugged 1 into the equation. What's 1 squared? I'm listening. What's 1 squared? 1. 1 minus 5. -4. Do you agree with that? All right. So there we have it. 1, -4. What? The C value is this number right here.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right. Now, I have the y-intercept, I have the first point. So if I'm looking at the axis symmetry, can someone tell me another point that's going to be on the graph? How do I know this point is on the graph? Yeah, it's equidistant from the axis of symmetry. I measured 1 over, and now I measure 1 over here. So everybody with me? And now we can draw the what? We can draw the graph. So we're going to come over here and we're just going to draw the parabola or the quadratic. All right, so I'm going to come down here, try to draw it. And I'm just lucky enough that my notability allows me to graph that pretty well. And that's what the graph is. That's it. All right, now everybody go to their handy dandy calculator. And then you go to y equals. And just type in x squared minus 5. And then hit graph. And you should see it. All right, if you, for some reason, your graph is out of sorts, hit zoom standard. All right, if your neighbor doesn't have a calculator, just let them look at yours real quick. All right, does anybody have a question with that? All right, yes.
If we can just do x squared times 5 in the beginning, why don't we just do that in verses?
It's on your calculator? Yeah, well, because normally teachers don't let you use your calculator. I'm letting you use your calculator to do what? Check your work. You with me on that? I want you to be perfect. You with me on that? It's super important to understand how to use your calculator. All right. So again, those are kind of the step-by-step plans. All right. So again, you don't have to list it step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That doesn't matter to me. All right. What matters is you can translate the information. All right. So let's go ahead and knock out number 2 now. Does it open up or down? It opens down. All right. It opens down because A is less than 0. All right. Now look, some of you keep asking me about where these letters are coming from. They're coming from this right here, ax squared plus bx plus c. Come on, if you don't know, that's the general form. All right, those are the letters, A, B, and C. That's where I'm getting A, B, and C from. All right, so if A is less than 0, it's going to open down. So your parabola is going to look something like this time. Your parabola will look something like this. All right. So step 1, it goes down. All right, next step. All right, I want the axis of symmetry, A, O, S. Then I want you to write x equals negative b over 2a. Come on, people. What's b? Someone else. Someone else. 0. It's 0. B is the number in front of the x term. Is there an x term? Therefore, b is 0. 0 divided by 2 times. Somebody tell me what a is. Negative 2. Thank you very much. A is the number in front of the square term. What's 0 divided by negative 4? 0. So the axis symmetry, x equals 0. So now go to your graph. X equals 0 is a vertical line. Here we go. I just am doing this. Question number 3. After I find the axis symmetry, I need to figure out where the vertex is located. The vertex, all right, everybody should be writing vertex is negative b over 2a, comma, f of negative b over 2a. which is just fancy way of saying plug the value that you got in number 2 into the equation. So my vertex, 0, comma, if I plug in 0 simultaneously, everybody's going to tell me if I plug in 0, I get what? If I plug 0 in for x, I get what? 8. I get 8. How does she know that? Well, y equals -2 times 0 squared plus 8. What's 0 squared times -2 plus 8? There you have it. Does everybody agree with that? Now we got to plot our point 0, 8. So everybody goes up to 0, 8. Plot a point. Now, question number 4, our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is always 0, comma c. So our y-intercept is 0, comma 8, which is a problem, correct? Because 0, 8 is also the what? Vertex. So I have to plug in the point. What's the easiest point to plug in? 1. So now we're going to do 1, comma. And somebody said, what? No. No. Definitely not. Why are you guys guessing? Plug 1 in for x. This is mental math. Plug 1 in for x. We're having trouble with 1 squared. 1. What's 1 times -2? -2 plus 8. There it is. 1, comma what? 6. Plug 1 in again if you didn't get that. 1 squared is 1. 1 times -2 is -2. -2 plus 8 is 6. So plot the point 1, 6. So if 1, 6 is on the graph, then what else is on what other point is on the graph? -1, 6 is on the graph. Very nice. And now you can draw your parabola. Look at that. And now everybody go to their calculator and type in y equals -2x squared plus 8. And what do we have? Everybody agreeing with that? Anybody have any issues? All right. Now we can get number 3 down. All right, please. A little bit different now. Here we go. Thank you. So far, so good. Number 1 opens what? Opens down. All right. Come on now. Number 2, we're looking at our axis of symmetry, AOS. X equals, what was the formula? X equals over -b over 2a. So b is what? -4 over, what's a? Very good. So what's -4 divided by -4? 1. So the axis symmetry is x equals 1. So now we go to x equals 1. And we can draw that line. This way is x equals 1. That's your axis of symmetry. Okay. Generally, we make it dotted, but if you don't want to make it dotted, solid is perfectly fine. Doesn't matter to me. That's your axis symmetry. Now, how do I find my vertex? What do I do? Plug 1 in for x. So y equals -2 times 1 squared plus 4 times 1 plus 3 equals. Now that should be, of course, mental math, but some of you guys, your mental math is not the way it should be. What is it? Some people think it's 11. Anybody else? Somebody else thinks 5. Bruin, good for you, bud. 5, all right. Nice work. It's a way to get involved. 5. You're just squaring 1. What's 1 squared? 1 times -2. -2 plus 4 plus 3. That's 5. So my vertex is located at what? 1, 5. So now everybody goes to 1, 5. Plot the point, 1, 5. Now, number 4 was our y-intercept. Our y-intercept was always 0, c. What's the c value in this case? 3. So our y-intercept is 0, 3. So now I plot the point 0, 3. If 0, 3 is on the graph, then what else is on the graph? 2, 3. Whoever said that, nice work. Thank you for listening. 2, 3 is also on the graph. I measure to the axis symmetry, and then I measure the same distance. And now what you do is you just make your parabola. Put your arrows down here, and then everybody type in on the calculator, -2x squared plus 4x plus 3. Yes, ma'am. If a is greater than 0, it's up. If a is less than 0, it's down. You with me? I'll put this up here again. If a is greater than 0, it's up. If a is less than 0, it's what? Down. And let's just say you forget on your test. All you got to do is type it in and look at it. You understand me, correct? All right. Anybody have any issue? What do you mean? What if what is 0? Then it's not. That's a very good question, actually. If a is 0, it's not a parabola. A cannot equal 0, because then it would be 0x squared, which means it would be a line. You with me? Every one of these is a square. Shh. What? Okay, here we go. Number 4. How does it open? Opens up. Thank you very much. Axis symmetry, AOS. X equals -b over 2a equals, what is this? Is it -6 or 6? 6 over 2 times what? Yes, double negatives. 2 times what's the a value? 1. What's 6 over 2? So now we go to x equals 3. All right, we're going to go to x equals 3 and graph that. Here is x equals 3. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's go. Step number 3, I need to find the vertex. Vertex. What is the x coordinate of the vertex? 3. So y equals 3 squared minus 6 times 3 minus 1. So I need help on that, guys. I need help with 3 squared minus 6 times 3 minus 1. Negative what? Negative 10. If you don't know it's negative 10, come on now. 3 squared is what? 9 minus 18 minus 1. Come on. So my vertex is 3 comma negative 10. So everybody has to go to 3 negative 10. Put a dot at 3 negative 10. Step 4. What is my y-intercept? My y-intercept is 0 comma 0 comma negative 1. So everybody plot the point 0 negative 1. So if 0 negative 1 is on the graph, what else is on the graph? You're not asking me, you're telling me. Watch me, what I'm, yes, for those of you guys who know, watch. Look, how many units am I away? 1, 2, 3 units away. Therefore, I must count to what? 1, 2, 3 over here. Anybody have any issues with that? Anybody have any issues? So now I want a graph. All right, not doing so well here. What is going on? All right, there we go. Anybody have any questions with that? Anybody? Yes, ma'am. Okay, listen to me. All you're doing is you're taking this answer, watch me. You're taking this answer, 3, and you're plugging it in for x. That's how you find the y value. Do you hear me? Negative b over 2a. A equals 1, b equals negative 6, c equals negative 1. Always, that's the formula. You hear me? It's always that. Just like the y-intercept is always 0c. You with me? All right, so here we go. Let's check out 5. Does it open up or down? Opens down. Number 2. What's the formula for axis symmetry, Leah? Negative b over 2a. What's b in this case? Leah, what's b? That's a. Very good. A is negative 3. What's b? Listen to me. It's A, B, C, girl. A, B, C. They're right in order. A, B. Yeah. What kind of 6? Right. And C equals 7. You with me on that? So what would be negative B? Right. 6. What would be 2 times A? 2 times A. Negative 6, right? Yes or no? So 6 divided by -6 today is -1. So now let's go graph x equals -1. So here we go. Here is x equals -1 right here. There you have it. Okay. Now, what do I do to find the y value? The vertex. Y equals -3 parentheses -1 squared minus 6 times -1 plus 7. All I did was I plugged the answer in, x equals -1 into the equation. Y equals, what happens? What's -1 squared? 1. The y value is what? 10. Thank you. Wow. Greep woke up. -1 comma 10 is your vertex. So everybody plot -1, 10. So here's -1, 10 way up here. What's the y-intercept? 0, 7. Thank you very much. So I go to 0, 7 right here. How far away am I to the axis of symmetry? How far? 1. So now watch. Count it over 1. Count it over 1. Everybody good with that? And now let's graph. All right, Leah, tell me, girl. Where did I get 7? All right, so now the y-intercept is always 0, c. Do you hear me? Right, and what's the c value? 7. Okay. Everybody look at number 6, because you're going to do these on your own. Number 6, what's the c value here, guys? 0. What's a? What's b? -4. Go to number 7. What's a? What is a? -2. See how I messed you up? What's b? What's c? Yes, don't be fooled. What's a? What's b? What's c? And then check with your calculator. Does everybody hear me? All right, guys, come on now. That's perfectly reasonable. All right, you got some graphs. Look at your notes.